What if I told you that ignorance is not always accidental? Have you ever wondered how ignorance is deliberately spread in our society? The answer to this question lies in the term agnotology, coined by historian of science, Robert N. Proctor. The root of this term hails from the word agnosis, meaning not knowing. But agnotology goes beyond simple ignorance. It delves into the dark art of cultivating and maintaining ignorance, often for political, economic, or ideological reasons. Imagine knowledge as a garden where ideas bloom and facts stand tall like trees. Agnotology is like the gardener who, instead of nurturing growth, plants seeds of doubt, prunes branches of truth, and shrouds parts of the garden in the goal to shape public opinion, protect vested interests, or maintain existing power structures. In essence, agnotology is a study of deliberate acts of omission, obfuscation, and misinformation that construct ignorance. So, at its core, agnotology is not just about what we don't know, but why and how this ignorance is actively produced and sustained. Ever heard of the phrase, ignorance is bliss? Well, not always. One of the key aspects of agnotology is the concept of manufacturing doubt. This is where the plot thickens, where the shadows of uncertainty are cast over established facts and scientific consensus. It's a strategy often employed when such consensus threatens to upset the status quo of certain industries or political agendas. Take the tobacco industry, for instance. In the mid-20th century, as mounting evidence began to link smoking to lung cancer, the tobacco giants didn't stand idle. Instead, they launched a counter-offensive, funding research designed to cast a cloud of doubt over these findings. The goal? To muddy the waters of public perception, to make people question whether smoking really is harmful as the scientists claimed. It was a clever tactic. By creating an artificial debate where there was none, they managed to keep the public in a state of indecision. To smoke or not to smoke became a question of personal choice rather than a health imperative. Meanwhile, regulatory action was stalled, buying the tobacco industry precious time to continue reaping profits. But the cost of this doubt was high. It delayed widespread public awareness about the dangers of smoking, leading to countless preventable deaths. It also set a dangerous precedent, demonstrating how easily public opinion could be swayed and manipulated. This strategy isn't limited to the tobacco industry. It has been adopted by various other sectors, from fossil fuel companies casting doubt on climate change, to political entities spreading misinformation to further their agendas. The common thread? The use of doubt as a weapon, a means to sow confusion and maintain the quo. It's a stark reminder of how ignorance isn't just a passive state of not knowing. It can be actively cultivated, manipulated, and used as a tool to control narratives, protect vested interests, and uphold existing power structures. This manipulation of information to create doubt is a powerful tool, utilized to protect vested interests and maintain existing power structures. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice, or is it? The phenomenon of agnotology is not limited to specific historical periods or regions. It's a global issue that spans across time and space, and in our current digital age, it takes on a new level of complexity. The digital age presents a paradox when it comes to the study of agnotology. On one hand, the internet's vast information landscape has made it easier than ever to spread knowledge, breaking down and democratizing access to information. But on the other hand, this same landscape has become a breeding ground for misinformation, making it both easier and more challenging to uncover instances of agnotology. Misinformation, the deliberate spread of false or misleading information, can proliferate at an unprecedented speed. With just a few clicks, a single piece of misinformation can reach millions of people within minutes. This rapid spread can create an echo chamber effect where the repeated exposure to misinformation can reinforce false beliefs, making them seem more credible and widespread than they truly are. But it's not just about spreading swiftly. The digital age has also made it easier for deliberate campaigns to manipulate public perception. These campaigns often exploit the algorithms of social media platforms to amplify their messages, targeting specific demographics and using emotional triggers to increase engagement. Moreover, these campaigns can create an illusion of consensus or controversy where there is none, a strategy known as manufacturing doubt. By creating a false balance between opposing viewpoints, they can make it seem as though there is significant disagreement on issues where a clear consensus exists. In this digital maze of truth and falsehood, it's more important than ever to be vigilant. Critical thinking skills, media literacy, and a healthy dose of skepticism can serve as our compass, helping us navigate this information landscape and identify attempts to manufacture ignorance. So, While the digital age presents significant challenges for the study of agnotology, it also presents opportunities. The same tools used to spread misinformation can also be used to counteract it, to spread awareness, and to promote a more informed public discourse. In this digital age, it has become both easier and more challenging to identify instances of agnotology. As we continue this journey into the information age, let's remember that the quest for truth is not just about gaining knowledge, but also about understanding the forces that seek to suppress it. Climate change is a hoax, or so some would have you believe. A significant example of agnotology in action is the denial of climate change. Despite a near-universal consensus among climate scientists that human activities are accelerating global warming, some interest groups have consistently sought to cast doubt on this reality. These campaigns often involve a potent mix of misinformation and strategic omission of facts, all aimed at creating a sense of uncertainty. Why would they do this? Well, the answer often lies in the economic, political, or ideological interests at stake. By downplaying the severity of climate change, these groups can delay policy changes that might threaten their interests, such as regulations on carbon emissions. This isn't just about spreading false information, it's about creating a fog of doubt that hinders decisive action on pressing environmental issues. By muddying the waters, these groups can keep the status quo intact, even as our planet warms at an alarming rate. This example highlights the significant real-world impacts of agnotology. Knowledge is power, but what about the power of ignorance? Understanding agnotology has profound implications for fields such as public policy, education, and journalism. When we comprehend how ignorance is intentionally manufactured and sustained, we can begin to devise strategies to counteract it. We can create systems that promote truthful and informative public discourse, rather than allowing misinformation to cloud our understanding. Deliberate ignorance isn't just a simple void of knowledge. It's a dangerous tool, often used to shape public opinion, protect vested interests, or maintain existing power structures. By studying agnotology, we can shine a light on these dark corners of ignorance, illuminating the unknowns and bringing them into the realm of public awareness. In our schools, this means teaching students not just to absorb information, but to question it, to weigh the evidence, and to discern fact from fiction. In our newsrooms, it means a commitment to truth even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. So, agnotology reminds us of the importance of critical thinking skills in navigating an information landscape where intentional gaps in knowledge exist.